Coming up on show 660, we'll take a look at the UK sales figures and see how many EVs were sold. Rivian collects another $1.3 billion. And what are the automakers showing at this year's CES? We'll find out. Plus, Elon Musk on his private jet right now, heading to Shanghai. There's a big event, I'll tell you why. Also, while he's doing that, the Tesla team are currently clearing the ground at Gigafactory 4 in Germany. EV subsidies are being extended in several US states. And what car have named their Car of the Year? It's only the 7th of January. For 2020, the shortlist is out. How many EVs are on it? We'll let you know. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily. We are back for 2020, and your edition for Tuesday, 7th of January. My name is Martyn Lee, going through every EV story that I can find to save you time. A bit of advance mention for this weekend's show on Saturday. I'm thinking that I'm going to do a plug-in hybrid special. There's loads of plug-in hybrids coming in 2020, and I thought we'd look at a rundown of the cars coming soon. Are plug-ins the perfect halfway house between a fossil and an EV if you're not ready to make the jump? Or should people just go full electric? That's this Saturday. We'll take a look. Thank you as always to myev.com for helping me make this podcast. And if you want to check out myev.com, if you're in the USA, of course, and you are in the market for maybe buying or selling an EV, check it out. At the end of the show, I want to give you a Patreon update as well. Stick around for that. And question of the week. UK December sales figures were out earlier on today. Tesla's Model 3 made it into the UK top 10 registrations list in December with 2,824 registrations. Now, from January, the UK is going to become a key priority market, not just for Tesla, but other EV makers as well, following the Netherlands change that happened at the end of their tax changes at the end of last year. There was a big rush to get Teslas registered in the Netherlands up until a week ago. Now, the UK company car tax is changing in April, and it means that if you buy an EV, it's very advantageous to be driving, if you have a company car, a full electric car. Well, if you want to look at the top 10 cars in the UK, the models, top 10 models, I should say, it goes VW Golf, Ford Fiesta, the Mini, the Ford Kuga, the BMW 3 Series, the Ford Focus, Mercedes A-Class, and then the Model 3. Or, according to the stats, a model called Other. And I don't quite know exactly why Tesla don't get the Model 3 listed as on the top 10 models. Somebody said it's because Tesla don't supply that data to the SMMT, which put it together. I don't know if that's right or not. And also my friend Tom, who is at BP Chargemaster on Twitter today, said, no, that's completely wrong. People have got it wrong. They're putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. I'm paraphrasing what he said. So I asked him to clarify, so is that not the Model 3? And as of recording this, he hasn't replied yet, so I'll chase him up tomorrow because he is a man in the know, so he can certainly correct us if that is not true. Pure electric cars. In December in the UK, there were 5,000 of those sold. 5,000 pure electric cars, of which I'm wondering whether almost, certainly half of those were the Model 3. That is what I'm guessing. In terms of plug-in hybrids, 4,480. And if you look at the year in total, almost 38,000 pure electric cars sold in this country, in the UK, across the year. If I get any clarification on that story, by the way, I will indeed let you know tomorrow on the podcast on Wednesday's edition. Let's talk Rivian. They've collected $1.3 billion in financing. The US electric car maker Rivian has raised another $1.3 billion in a new round of financing, where the financing round was led by the fund company T. Rowe Price, BlackRock, and previous investors Amazon and Ford chipping in a bit more. According to electrive.com, Amazon already added a $700 million investment back in February. Ford put in $500 million in April, and they've been planning collaborations with the Rivian. In September, Cox Automotive bunked in $350 million, and the fourth round in December, which just closed, was the biggest so far, $1.3 billion cash raise for Rivian. Amazon and Ford added to their investments, but I don't know how much. And from that Amazon story to this Amazon story, Rivian will integrate Amazon's voice assistant Alexa into their pickup and their SUV, the R1T and the R1S. The first vehicles they'll be making, they are going to debut by the end of this year. That's what they're saying at the moment. According to TechCrunch, Rivian said yesterday on Monday it's going to extend the Alexa integration into 100,000 of those electric delivery trucks they're going to be making. And if you recall the news from last year, long-time listeners, 100,000 delivery trucks being made by Rivian for... yeah, you guessed it. That would be Amazon. So why wouldn't they put Alexa into their delivery vans? They will be delivering to customers end of this year, beginning of next year, by the way. 2021, I think, is the official line. Well, Alexa integration into the R1T and the R1S means owners will have access to standard features, playing music, placing calls, nav, and do things like climate control and open the frunk and other features. Owners can also, when they're inside their house, if you have one of the screens with Alexa, like an Echo Show device or a Fire TV, or even, as of this year, they're now launching TVs with Fire, I think it's called Fire TV something. Basically, the TV's got it all integrated, not just an app, but it's basically one big Alexa. And you can say, show me the cameras on my car, and it will, because the cars are connected. Do you have a smart home? I'd love to know. I was reading an article over the break that said that Alexa is big in certain countries. In the US, it said that Google have a bit of a head start on them, whereas in here, certainly in this country, Amazon, I think, is much more dominant than Google. Personally, I've mentioned this before, I'm Amazoned up to the hilt. We have 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 in the kitchen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 in the house. I have 6 Alexas in the house, and 3 of those. I've got the new Echo Show 8, which is the bigger screen. And that's much better than the little Echo Show 5. Screen's a little bit too small to do anything with. And yes, for those that followed my news over Christmas, I have indeed put a camera in the nursery. And I do sit downstairs of an evening because I'm a paranoid dad. And I say, Alexa, show me the nursery. And I sit and watch someone sleeping. I mean, there's not much to see, but, I'm proud and all that. So I'm fully Alexa'd up. So the minute Alexa goes into a car, it just makes my life easier because my shopping list is on there. I've got... my house is smart homed up. The lights come on and off. The heating. I've got smart thermostat. So I say, Alexa, turn the heating up by a degree. So that would suit me. Would it suit you? I'd love to know your thoughts on smart homes and EVs. Let me know. Well, moving on. As the auto industry grapples with technology-fueled disruption from EVs and autonomous driving, CES is becoming the venue of choice for brands to prove to consumers and each other that they are embracing the future of mobility more than any other. According to Automotive News Europe, BMW are going to be there at this year's CES, teasing a new interior concept for the BMW i3. Fisker, of course, already debuted the Ocean, their all-electric crossover. 80 kilowatt-hour battery in that, 300 miles, they say. Ford are going to be there with the Mustang Mach-E as their highly anticipated mass-market EV, which once again Ford have put 300 miles against on some of those models. Nissan are going to be showing off an electric crossover concept called the Ariya, and Toyota will indeed be showing off concept vehicles because they've got no new EVs to show anybody. Let's move on and talk about what's happening in Shanghai. Elon Musk, as of me recording this podcast, is on board Musk Force One, his private jet, and it's not called Musk Force One, but it should be, shouldn't it? It'd be brilliant. I'm on board Musk Force One, and he is heading to Shanghai right now because he is attending in person a ceremony to mark the first deliveries of made-in-China Tesla Model 3s. Customers get them on Tuesday, according to people familiar with the matter, in a big Bloomberg article today. Really in-depth article. The ceremony is due to start at 3 p.m. local time on Tuesday, so that may have happened by the time you listen to this podcast. The tough market could mean, says this Bloomberg article, that Tesla sells just 21,000 China-built Model 3s in 2020. That's according to LMC Automotive. I don't know LMC Automotive, haven't Googled them, haven't researched them, could be very well thought of people, but that is bonkers. That is a bonkers, crazy prediction. They are basing that, the forecast of 21,000 Model 3s this year takes into account Tesla's history of production delays. They say, yes, LMC Automotive, I would say to you, the history of production delays. They were learning as a new company how to make cars. They've got quite good at making EVs since then. In fact, they have recently made 1,000 in a week and say that they are scaling up to 3,000 a week. But according to this company, they'll only make 21,000 this year. That baffles me. I respectfully disagree. Also, Tesla, being a pioneer in EVs, has an edge for the next 1 to 2 years, says David Whiston, an analyst at Morningstar Inc. in Chicago. An edge for the next 1 or 2 years before competition starts catching up. I'm not being belligerent on this podcast, but again, I would respectfully disagree with the fact that Tesla have a 1 or 2 year head start before the others catch up. There is nothing that Tesla are doing which indicates they are standing still. The other automakers are all doing fantastic work with not all of them. Some of them are doing amazing work with EVs. I don't get the logic. I don't get the logic that Tesla is somehow going to get caught up in 1 or 2 years. I think that they're talking about EVs with 500 or 600 mile ranges in the not too distant future. And some of that with current battery technology, not always with the next gen tech. Right, and from electric, Tesla always said that they planned to produce the Model 3 and the Model Y at Giga 3 in Shanghai, but they never confirmed a timeline for Model Y. Model Y is supposed to go into production in Fremont for the US market in the next few months. It was rumoured that production in Shanghai could not be too far behind, rather, and now Tesla is expected to lay out a clear plan to bring the vehicle into production in China. Tesla's talking about expanding the already giant factory in order to produce the Model Y at the plant. So the Model 3 handover event is not just a Model 3 handover that Elon will be at, they are also laying out the roadmap for Model Y in China. And from Gigafactory 3 to Gigafactory 4. Crews in Germany have started preparations for the groundbreaking at Giga 4. Recently shared videos on social media show the land in Grünheide, Germany, revealing trees are being cut down to make way for the plant. According to Teslarati, environmentalists haven't been expected to protest or anything like that or make any attempt at halting progress. Tesla announced that deforestation would result in the company planting 3 times as many trees to replace those that need to be cut down for the factory's construction. And recent filings for Tesla's Gigafactory 4 actually show the site layout, and they've given the different buildings names for the massive complex. And listing the primary buildings that will be constructed on the site, among the most noticeable parts of the layout is an area they've called Cell. According to the website Tasmanian, the size of the building marked Cell is pretty big, and it would suggest that, just as Elon has always said, that after the mistake of, well, maybe it wasn't a mistake, but the challenge of having the batteries made in one location and the cars assembled in another, yes, from Nevada to Fremont, he would never do that again, and that all future gigafactories would have everything under one roof. A metaphorical roof. And so, looks like that's happening at Gigafactory 4 with a big area to actually make the cells for the batteries. Okay, moving on. Several US-American states have launched initiatives to support the electrification of their traffic. Massachusetts and Delaware extended their subsidy programs, and Ohio is going to introduce one. California extending the benefits for EV drivers as well, according to an Electrive.com article today, which says that Massachusetts is extending its subsidies to the end of 2021. Pure BEVs get a grant of $2,500. Plug-in hybrids that'll do 25 miles get $1,500. Delaware is $2,500 for pure electrics and $1,000 for hybrids. Plug-in hybrids, of course. And in California, lower-income families and owners of used electric cars have now been given access to carpool lanes since January the 1st. Okay, let's talk about Car of the Year lists. Of course, it's January the 7th, so why wouldn't you have made your mind up of the best car this year? Audi e-tron is on the list for the What Car of the Year. They say it impresses with a cosseting ride. They've added the Mercedes EQC to the list, saying it's got a quiet manner. The MG ZS EV offers value for money. That's on the short list. The Seat Me Electric Okay. They say that electric power and a price tag to make it affordable. It is affordable, but not going to blow anyone away. And finally, good, the Tesla Model 3. Whether it wins or not, it's always good that when you see these lists, they actually bother to include it. Because I've seen some of these lists that because Tesla don't advertise in certain magazines, not this one, I'm not saying that, but they choose not to put them on the list. And you think, okay, well, that's not really right, is it? But they have put Tesla Model 3, but they've put that it travels up to 239 miles of range in their summary of why they included it. Well, the WLTP range is not 239 miles. The WLTP range for the long range is 348. I know they do their own real range testing, but 239 miles is a bit different to 348 for the long range, because they said it'll go up to. So I presume they were looking at the biggest battery size. I presume that's what that goes up to. I find that frustrating. A little mini frustrating that there's not clarity on what these numbers mean. Anyway, I think it confuses readers. I don't think it's not intentional. It's not like they're trying. I don't know. I went to the event last year. Went to the What Car, the final. It's a grand place called the Grosvenor in London, and they were very kind with their hospitality. And I brought you the coverage of that on this podcast. A very lovely event, and good luck to everyone going along this year. Let's talk Mazda when we finish off today. Mazda says it will never build a big battery electric car because it believes such vehicles are less environmentally friendly than a conventional diesel-powered model, if you judge it over the whole energy life cycle, says Hilton for Autocar. The production version of the Mazda MX-30 is due in mainland Europe later this year, and the UK in early 2021. It'll be priced from €34,000 or £30,000. It's going to have a 35 kilowatt-hour battery. Oh, that's a tiddler. That will drive an electric motor that'll do 141 brake horsepower, do 130 miles. The lithium-ion battery pack is made by Panasonic in Japan, and Mazda's engineers have also tuned the torque delivery, says this article. They've tuned the torque delivery of the MX-30 on the electric motor in order to be less frenetic than is the case with other EVs. The engineers at Mazda reasoning, they want the MX-30 to feel less like a change from an internal combustion engine. And that, my friends, is the strangest thing I've read in 2020 so far, and perhaps it's on the list of things that I won't forget this year. Mazda's engineers have detuned their EV to make it more like a sluggish internal combustion engine because they think their drivers don't want a quick, responsive car. Well, we could have made it go faster, but no, we slowed it down. You'll be pleased to hear. You'll be pleased to hear. We found a way to slow it down. Oh, it was a bit too fast for us. So no, not so fast. 0 to 60 could have been 7 seconds. You'll be pleased to hear it's a steady 13. Unbelievable. We do not want EVs to be tuned like internal combustion engines. Bless Mazda. I've nothing against Mazda, but they've got some work to do. They've got a little bit of work to do. Let's talk about this Patreon update that I wanted to give you. A massive thank you to new people supporting the podcast over the last couple of days. People increasing their support as well, which is enormously appreciated. Thank you so much to you. Asir Khalid upgraded his support. He was already an executive producer and he just opted to support even more out of the blue. Like, wow, thank you. Thank you to a new Patreon executive producer, Craig Cooper. Now, Craig told me he has 25 solar panels, 14 more on the way, 3 Tesla Powerwalls being installed, and a Model 3 and a 2014 Model S in his driveway. Thank you, Craig, for your support. Hello to Mark Garnett for increasing his level of support. He's now a producer of the podcast. Thank you, Mark. And another producer, Adam Van Rad. Thank you very much, Adam. And finally, we welcome Jim Duggan as a new producer. And if you'd like to find out what it's all about, it's patreon.com/evnewsdaily. Right, question of the week this week with myev.com. Send me your 2020 predictions. Can be EV related or energy or anything like that. What do you reckon you'll see this year? Apart from the stuff we know that's coming, like the Model Y, but maybe it's something that is in your life or your plans. Maybe you'll be getting an EV this year, or maybe you want to change it, or maybe you think there'll be more EVs from China, like the MG. Let me know. What are your 2020 predictions? Email me hello@evnewsdaily.com or leave a comment on Facebook and YouTube. If you can leave a little review on Apple Podcasts, it really helps because other people see your review and give the show a go. If you want to get in contact on the socials, search EV News Daily. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. Catch you tomorrow. Remember, there is no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.